Hello everybody and welcome back to Gardens and Crystals with me, Wesley Peterson, and today I am going to be working with my plant here, my house plant, my Ficus elastica robusta, and I actually just did a video on this plant and how I am starting to grow out branches on the top of the plant area, and this plant is just doing so well, looking absolutely fabulous, and has these side branches still at the bottom just to thicken out the edge. And I can see there are new buds coming out where I pulled off some of the older leaves to help encourage more branches to come out on the side of this stem to create me a lovely little tree. So this is all going very, very well. And around the front of the plant at the bottom here, I have a lot of cuttings from my Crassula ovata that I took last year when I pruned it right back. And I got myself so many plants, it was unbelievable. Here in front of me I have 5 plants left. And one thing I did that worked out very well was that I planted in these Crassula ovata around the bottom in the pot, just like this terracotta pot here, and the same size with my Monstera deliciosa large form in it. And all this summer, those two plants have been outside in my garden until now. I've just taken all my house plants in, and those Crassula ovata have doubled in height, are very deep green, very happy, healthy. And my Monstera deliciosa plant grew out 2 new leaves this season. So I just want to give you a quick look at those with the Crassula ovata in the bottom of the pot before I carry on with this video. So here you go, you can see my fantastic Monstera deliciosa large form with its beautiful fenestrated and slit leaves and the new leaves. And as we go down here, you'll see underneath there's a whole new leaf that's just unfurled and is filling out right now with its lovely lime colour. And as we go down further, then you can see these beautiful Crassula ovata plants that I placed around the bottom that are just doing amazingly. Look at this wonderful green colour. It's absolutely bright and vibrant and gorgeous and lush, and I just want to eat them all up. But this is so much more interesting, isn't it, than seeing plain soil underneath all of these long stems and petioles on this plant, this Monstera deliciosa plant, because there's so much space there in the middle. And now I get to enjoy a whole beautiful green arrangement, and I'll be able to enjoy this in my crystal library for the whole of the winter period. And next to it here you can see my Ficus elastica robusta, and this is where it's going to reside for the winter period. Looking beautiful, and they get light from the western facing window here, as you can see, dappled light shining down onto them directly, so it's absolutely perfect. And I can't wait to not have to look at this soil down here either, and it to turn out looking just like this. So I am just going to do this quite often now, I'm sure, because it just works out so well. And I'm just so pleased with all this. Look at these wonderful plants. So I really hope you enjoyed seeing that combination and the fact that it worked out perfectly. So I have decided to repeat this and do the same with my Ficus elastica robusta. Put these lovely little plants of my Crassula ovata around the bottom to make me a lovely green understory, a ground cover in this pot, because the pot is so big and I have just this thin stem to look at and a lot of dirt, and I really don't enjoy that much. So I'm going to do the same again. It's going to work out fabulously. And these two plants are two plants that love sunshine, bright indirect light, dappled light, and they will do very well together. The same amount of watering is perfect for these plants. So no problem whatsoever putting them together like this. I know it's going to work. So before I do that, I just want to bring you some cuttings that I actually took off my mother plant today when I took her in for the first time in months. and saw that she'd grown out quite a lot on the sides and so forth, so I wanted to make a nice ball kind of shape again. So I pruned around the edge, and this is what I got this year. And in that video where I pruned her back and made all these cuttings, I said that it's probably good enough to go and prune back your plant every other year. But my plant has grown very well along the edges, so that some of the side branches were getting too long and they were hanging down, looking still nice but hanging down. So I decided to give a little prune, and this is what I got off this year anyway. But maybe next year I'll have to do a whole prune all the way around the plant, because keeping the plant compact helps to thicken out the trunks on the plants with your Crassula ovata, because if they start getting long and straggly, then the trunk of the plant will be just like this Ficus elastica robusta. It will stay thin. So let me show you these, and after this video I will be potting these up in exactly these same terracotta pots like I did with these plants here. So here they are, all of my lovely cuttings, and you can see some of the branches on my plant got very long. You can see this one was hanging out to the side, so I'll be able to snip that up into pieces. And another one here you can see grew out and was hanging a little bit to the side. So lots of different shapes and sizes, bits and pieces that I can put together in these pots behind me and make me some lovely plants again. And now I've discovered this technique of placing Crassula ovata around the bottom of large pots with other plants, and it working out so well, I think this is going to be my thing. And here I have one of my lovely little plants, and in this pot I have 4 stems that I placed in together, and look how well they filled out this pot and grown out well and solid with lots of roots. Beautiful. I can even tip it forward so you can get a closer look. Look at that. Absolutely beautiful, healthy, green. And these have been sitting in my southern facing windows and some in my western facing windows, so they do get bright direct light on them, and then they get bright indirect light the rest of the time that the sun isn't there, and they've been very, very happy with that. So now I want to get as many of these pots in the bottom of my big terracotta pot, because I want to fill out the bottom with no gaps straight away. It doesn't matter, because I know that I'll always be able to go in and prune these plants back if they start getting too big or out of hand. That's what I do with the mother plant. And that will only mean that I'll get more cuttings to make more plants. So this is going to be quick and easy probably. What I'm going to do is just excavate some of the soil out of the pot and hope that I don't disturb too many of the roots of my Ficus elastica robusta here, and then get these straight into this pot. Let's go. I have a bucket here that I'm going to move some of the soil out into. And it seems that my Ficus elastica robusta doesn't have so many roots up around near the top of this soil here, so it's not proving to be too much of a problem, and it's not disturbing that plant either. And this pot wasn't filled all the way up with soil, so I'm basically able to excavate quite easily around this plant until I feel that I'm deep enough to be able to start putting in my Crassula ovata. So now, I think that was enough. Now I'm ready to put my plants in. And you might wonder why I don't just put these cuttings in around to make it easier, to not have to excavate soil and so forth. Well, I want plants in here with established roots so that I know they're good to go straight away. And then I'll be able to take care of these plants in the smaller pots exactly the way as I did with the other ones, and get them going on just as well, so they'll be ready to be used next year. Let's see. I have a lovely plant here. We'll just tip it out of its pot. And I hope they're going to come out okay, easy enough for me. I need a little stick to be able to poke them out of these pots. So I found myself a bamboo stick here, so we can poke out these plants, because they're quite tight in these pots. Ooh. Right, this one's coming out now. I can feel, yes. So my empty pots I can just put on the side next to me here. And my first plant is ready to be placed in its new home. And I can feel that it needs soil directly underneath it, so I'll just fill out that a little bit before I put the next plant in. So, first one in. Ready for the next one. And I'm putting the ones that are a little bit shorter at the front and the higher ones at the back so that we can see them all grow out. And this one's just bounced out of the pot with no problem. That was nice. So I'm ready to put that one in here. And then I have this next one. It needs help to get out of the pot. Oh, it's very tight in this one. Wow. Oh, I need to stab it on the ground there enough. Boy, some of them are really difficult to get out actually. So this one doesn't seem to want to come out of its pot. Very difficult. And even using a stick, I know you can't see what I'm doing. So what I'm trying to do is stick this stick in the bottom and poke out around the edge to loosen this plant from the pot, and it's proving to be very difficult. Doesn't want to. No, not at all. What is going on? Oh, I'm just poking through to the top and, well, these are not coming out. That is really strange. Okay, I think it's starting to come out now. Yes, I've got it. Whew. So that one was a bit difficult to get out, but it's out now, and I can put it straight around the edge here. So now I've got a couple more, and I'm hoping they're not going to be too difficult to get out of these pots. No, this one came out easy. That's good. But that goes to show, if they're hard to get out of the pots, then they were well rooted. Well, I might as well show you. So here we go. This is one of my lovely little plants. Lots of roots, lots and lots of roots. Filled out the whole soil in this pot in a year. In it pops. And then I have my last one that has some crystals on the top. So look at this little cutie. This one has roots coming out of the bottom. So I'm hoping it's not going to be too difficult to get this one out either. Okay, it's up. So that is all my pots. Now I have all my plants in here. I can spread them out as evenly as I feel I need to. Just like that. Very nice. And I have one at the back here that needs more soil under it to lift it because it's quite low compared to the others. So we'll get some soil, place it in, lift this one up. Now it's better. Now it's at the same height as the others. Well, this one needs lifting a little bit as well. So, yes. And maybe this one a little bit. Yeah, so now it feels like my Crassula ovata down here are all evenly spaced out. Now I can put this soil back in around and level it all out. And this is the kind of soil that these plants like. It's a garden mix I remember using, and I added some fine sand to keep it loose and aerated. And it seems perfect for this. And what I'm finding now is that I'm not going to have enough soil to fill in around, so I'm going to have to go and make me some more. So I keep compacting around just to make sure I've got enough down in between to start with. Then I'll go and get me some more soil, and I'm just throwing this in the middle so that I can take it from the middle out to the edges, because I know that I don't want to fill up around the bottom of my Ficus elastica robusta too much. It needs to be kept at the same level as it was before so that it can breathe and carry on as it has been. So just more soil basically around the edges to put around these plants to level them out a little bit while they're getting established. So actually I've decided I am actually going to use a little bit of these cuttings here, because I have a space in the middle and I don't want that space. So I need something that's tall, that I'll be able to, this one's tall and good, place on the top of the soil and let carry on in there. But before I do that, I do need to get a little extra soil. So now I have some more soil, I'll just carry on filling up the gaps. Hee, this is just so satisfying. So that's me done with the soil. Now to just place in a little extra cutting in the middle to fill out that gap. So that's me done, and I am really pleased with the outcome of this. So now I won't go in and water this for probably a couple of days, just to give it all a chance to acclimatise and settle down. And then I will water it because I want to make sure the soil gets in and around the root balls completely in the pot and levels out better. But now that I've just put them in together and I have put in a couple of my cuttings, I don't want to go in over watering it straight away. And these two plants don't need that much water, so it's absolutely perfect. So now I'm ready to take you in for a closer look at the result. So here you go, the close-up. And look at these wonderful plants. They look fabulous. They look like they've always been in this pot like this, together with my Ficus elastica robusta. That is also doing extremely well. So this was a great way of using my cuttings from my mother plant that seems to be an ever-giving plant. Just look at all of these. Absolutely wonderful, and the whole pot is filled out straight away, and I have all of my cuttings there to plant out right now. So I am so pleased about this. So I really hope you enjoyed seeing these two plants together and how they've merged and married together to look like an absolutely beautiful plant. And now I have this lovely green mass to look at around the bottom as I fix and grow out the rest of this plant. And this just looks wonderful now, I think. And later, after I finish my video, I will fill up these pots with soil and I will put my new propagations in the pot. And you can go back and see that video on how I pruned and propagated my Crassula ovata to see exactly how this process happens. So make sure you get out there and have some wonderful experiments with your own houseplants, because this is just so much fun. And in some parts of the world, I know that you have these plants as garden plants, and well, you can do the same kind of combinations even in your garden borders. How fabulous to have a big, beautiful Ficus elastica robusta tree growing with a huge arrangement of Crassula ovata growing around the bottom. That would be just beautiful. This is just a miniature example to show that you can do the same thing with your houseplants. So all I have to say now is thank you very much once again for watching Gardens and Crystals with me, Wesley Peterson. Please remember to like, subscribe and hit the bell so you know when my next video will be coming up, and I will see you again very, very soon. Goodbye.